we're heading to the Young Progressives Congress right now, where all seems not to be so well within the fold of the YPP, with the party struggling hard to get back on its feet after the outing of the party at the 2023 general election, where it accused its presidential candidate, Malik Ado-Ibrahim, of not embarking on campaigns. And of course, the party seems to have slipped into a post-election trauma that has left its governorship candidates inactive in the wake of election defeat. Even its few elected lawmakers have not been as visible as party members would love, and are yet to give a good account of themselves to party members. Now, can the YPP recover from the doldrums of election defeats it has found in itself? What lies ahead for the party and its future, especially for young people that the party is named after? Well, to help us provide clues to many of the questions raised about the party, we have joining us in the studio the national chairman of YPP, Emmanuel Bishop Amakiri. Thank you so much for being on the program. And you're looking like your party. And also Bishop without the cassock right here. So talk to us about the YPP, Young Progressives Party. I mean, very promising party. A lot of Nigerians have looked forward to making a very good outcome in the presidential election, the governorship elections, legislative elections here and there. But of course, not much, though you won a few seats. But talk to us, what's the position of the YPP now?
Thank you so much, Shagari. I really appreciate this opportunity. First, I'm very glad that you later corrected yourself. Initially, you were addressing us as Young Progressive Congress.
I said the Young Progressive
Party. That okay, was later on, yeah. So, and most of you actually make that mistake, but it's all together. Anyway, the truth of the matter is that all is well with the YPP. I don't think a party that just came out of an election with 11, victories. I mean, 11 parliamentarians. I don't think that party, the party such as Young Progressive Party that just started 2017, without knowing any quote-to-quote these godfathers that people talk about. If there's any godfather of YPP, you'll be talking about is God first, and myself, and other few who had made the party, You think so? Well, some people will say somebody like Senator Ifeanyi, I mean, he's had a towering stature in the YPP.
That's
what I'm saying. Ifeanyi,
and it looks like the godfather of the party.
No, Ifeanyi met the party when the party was already established. But he's a progressive-minded person. And that's why every time I continue to respect the young man because of his position, his standing position on trying to do something different, to bring results. Look at the last election. Upon all the tsunami of the Peter Obi tsunami, in the hometown, the state of Peter Obi, which is Anambra, Ifeanyi was able to survive. Go to other states like Abia, Enugu, even in Anambra itself, that tsunami consumed so many people. But Ifeanyi, being a grassroots general, he was able to gallop through that tsunami. So for me, it's a work in progress. Okay, YPP is firm. Since all this time you've been hearing about YPP, how many times have you heard about rancors in the party or whatever?
During the election, there was actually one with your presidential candidate, Prince Ado Malik Ibrahim, where you had issued a statement saying that, your own candidate wasn't going out to campaign and all of that. And we've seen his visibility also, dimming, including all of the YPP. There are national issues. We don't hear the party Shagari, and all of that. The presidential candidate is almost nowhere to be found. You didn't go to the tribunal, yes, but of course, everywhere has been quiet with your party.
No, it's not been quiet. I maintain my position. The YPP stands to be one of the progressive, pragmatic, driven political party today in Nigeria.
How come we didn't see that shown in your presidential candidate during campaigns?
What you see at times, sometimes in life, it's not all you want that you will get. And what we did while we were doing our leadership recruitment process, we said to ourselves, the NWC met and said, look, we want new breeds. Malik Ado-Ibrahim fall into that new breed category of politicians. And it's only God that knows the heart of the man. Screening process, every other thing went through. And we found out that, look, this young man told us he was ready to fire on. And we went through the process of that recruitment process. And he emerged as the winner of the primary. We as a party we don't betray. We don't backstab our candidates. No, we don't do that. All the pressures that came our way of endorsement, and go back, just take a little bit, just go back to your history and look at the YPP, trajectory. We have never endorsed any candidate, presidential candidate, since the inception of the 2019 general election. We never endorsed anybody. Mogalu was there. You could remember. Mogalu was there. And we believed in him. Every of our candidates that comes to YPP, so long as you go through the process, okay, we'll do our due diligence. So long as you go through that process, we don't betray you. We must go to the ballot.
Yeah, but were there temptations? Because I saw other political parties that quickly went to the APC to endorse now President Bola Tinubu while he was campaigning, and some party chairmen were rushing to go. It looks like there was a meal to eating. Were there any temptations actually?
That's what I'm telling you now. That some of us are not hungry people. Some of us we have something we're doing, and it's very important that I also re-echo this. First, let me let you know that the Young Progressives Party is not a platform for political entrepreneurs. And
what do you mean by that?
Look, political entrepreneurs are those who use the political platform to go for this kind of negotiation that you're talking about, endorsing one candidate or the other, even when they know that they are supposed to run for the election. It's either you win or you lose. It doesn't matter. You go back again, re-strategize, and who told you? After all, the immediate past president ran election almost 4 times in this country until he got the nod. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with trying and failing or whatever. That's not the end of the road. What I'm trying to tell you is, in the political architecture, we have the group out is classified into 2. There is the ones that I've just mentioned to you that are political entrepreneurs, and there is this other one that are political reformers. Those ones who fall into the category of political reformers are those who look at the broader picture of politics, to the quest for power, to get this power and see how they can usher, provide the basic amenities for their people.
So which one do you actually belong?
No, of course, Young Progressive
As a political bureaucrat,
of course,
yourself,
of course,
been national chairman of the party.
I will continue to propagate this message, evangelize this message of the Young Progressive Party being a young party, preaching the gospel of social reforms, political stability, political and democratic stability, economic reforms, social economic reforms. That's what we stand for.
Okay, as we round off this conversation gradually, let's talk about your party and the discussions on the future of Nigeria, the current economic instability that we have. We haven't heard the YPP making statements on this. And have you been meeting with your elected lawmakers to actually let them know the sort of agenda that the YPP wants to be pushed, especially on issues like fuel subsidy, the call for minimum wage increase and all of that?
You see, the truth of the matter is that we all know that at the moment, the minds of, let me say, almost 98% of Nigerians, the minds of almost 98% of Nigerians is not yet settled because of the hardship that we're excruciating hardship that people are going through. Now, when you talk about meeting our candidates to discuss issue of
elected representatives.
Elected representatives of the party. We've been dialogue, we've been discussing, we've been talking to ourselves.
So that when they get to parliament, they will reflect your views.
Yeah, and of course, they are. Look at, okay, let me give you an example. In Anambra South, Senator Ifeanyi Ubah is one of the person who is providing security for his people. You and I know that security is one of the dilemma that is before us in this country.
Especially in the Southeast.
Especially in the Southeast. And this young man has taken it upon himself. Now look, I just need to provide security for my people. This this is not even about the constituency project thing or whatever, but he's a young man who is so passionate about his people. So he's been providing this to his people. In fact, I wish you just take a trip to Anambra South. And
All right, as we try to round off this conversation, quickly, what sort of policy alternatives would your party want to offer on issues like this petrol subsidy removal and issues of palliatives? And then, just before I let you go also, what's the state of relationship between your party and its former presidential candidate, Prince Malik Ado Ibrahim?
Yeah, before we get to that, you just talked about the policy. You see, it's quite unfortunate. The APC as a party, okay, I would say has bastardized this country to almost a state of no remedy. So even discussing about policy, telling them about policy, these are people who don't listen to you. They don't hear, even if you give them the whole ideas, they don't listen to it.
But you can put them on their feet.
No, but it doesn't matter you're telling them about it. What we'll continue to do, we're still watching. And I think this government is just, maybe this is what we call, maybe sometimes you say you give somebody a benefit of doubt. We're still watching, okay? They have told us what, even though this subsidy removal thing, we all felt that we were too in a hurry, okay, to have taken such decision. There was no any measures in place even before taking away this subsidy, before they would have started this subsidy removal policy thing of a thing that has caused Nigerians an excruciating pains now. But I will advise them further that this is Nigeria. We have no any other country than this country.
Very quickly.
Let them please go back again and put again their thinking cap and look at how they can navigate us out of this quagmire that we have found ourselves, because the pains are too much. And I think Nigerians cannot afford to continue to live in this kind of pains.
Yeah, and the last question, I mean, what's the relationship between your party now and its presidential candidates?
We as a party, and don't forget that political party is beyond any individual, including myself as the national chairman. So we as a party, we have moved on. The Malik Ado Ibrahim, I said, let me tell you, look, maybe some people make a mistake. Politics is not religion. I don't know the mind of a man. Even in religion, people change from one religion to another.
From one faith to the other.
Good. So,
all right.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't breed any animosity with Malik Ado Ibrahim, but we as a party, we have moved on. And I can assure you that in future elections, what we have just, what I can tell you now is that is a learning curve.
All right, learning curve for your leadership recruitment process.
Yes, it's a learning curve. I've learned from 2019 and I've also learned from 2023 scenario. So God willing, Nigerians should be watching YPP. They should just beam their satellite on YPP.
All right, we must thank you so much. You're speaking like the bishop that you're named after. Emmanuel Bishop Amakiri is the national chairman of the Young Progressives Party, a very promising party that a lot of young Nigerians were looking out for in the 2019 and 2023 elections. But it's good to say that you are preaching that they should not lose hope. We must thank you so much for being on the program. Well, that's how it's been on this edition of This Week. Thanks to our production team here in Abuja, Lagos, and London to join us same time next week for another exciting edition. I'm Somna Shagari Sambo. Stay with us.